Have you an ultimate aim, as one of your ex-colleagues, Mr. Pope, has, to take over the world?
Mr. Pope is quite
Have you any intentions upon world domination?
it is Mr. Pope's privilege if he wishes to take the world over. No, because we don't believe that mysticism operates on the material
You have
things.
no ambitions in any form of domination?
No.
On any scale, whether it's locally or nationally or
only within the circles with which I'm involved. Religiously, yes. Physically, no.
What is your relationship with John Pope, the self-styled head of the United Temples of Satan?
John Pope he's rather a difficult topic.
Is it not true that he was once a lieutenant in your order?
In the past, that is true on occasion.
What position did he hold in your order?
He came to us as the Master Therion, who's someone who was deeply involved in the various magical aspects of Crowley. And he really came to us as an independent person. He was never initiated as such. He came, I understood that he'd already been initiated. He came to us in his own right.
Did you perform any ceremonies with John Pope?
I performed one very important ceremony with John Pope.
What was that? The purpose of?
That was for the purpose of summoning Pan, which is a very dangerous ritual. In fact, we attempted it on quite several occasions before we...
Were you successful?
Yes.
What was the outcome?
The outcome of that ritual was that Pope claimed, and I've no reason to disbelieve him, that the force invoked actually appeared and took possession of Pope. But then, on the final outcome, never really materialised, because when we attempted the ceremony again, for the first time in several weeks, it was going extremely well, and Pan, or the form of Pan, would almost certainly to have materialised itself in the place prepared for it. But then, of course, the police intervened and broke.
Did Pan materialise?
No, the police intervened before the ceremony was completed, before the actual invocation had started.
So, do you then regard John Pope as an accomplished magician?
In his own right, everybody can be an accomplished magician. I would say, in his own right, yes.
But of course, John Pope is, and he describes himself as this, and he is of course a Satanist.
I do believe that he is very deeply involved in Satanism now, yes.
But you weren't aware of his tendency towards Satanism then?
No, because at that time he was more inclined to, he was deeply obsessed with the teachings of Crowley, as opposed to direct Satanism.
But for many people, Crowley himself was a black magician of the...
I don't accept that for 1 minute. Crowley was completely misunderstood.
So what in fact was Crowley?
I think he's probably the same.
I mean, he used to revel in being described as the wickedest man on earth.
What did he? I think the newspapers added to that title.
He gave himself the inscription B666 from Revelation.
Yes, but it was divinely inspired, surely. It wasn't.
Yes, but sure,
tag.
All these things have evil connotations.
It wasn't the tag he put on himself, like Alex Saunders, for example.
Well, it was. These are labels which he himself wrote.
Under divine inspiration. What?
Divine, but Crowley himself didn't believe in divine.
I don't think anywhere in Crowley's works or creeds has he ever admitted that he's was a Satanist.
No, by his definition, no.
Well then,
But his actions and his actual teachings, I mean, his fundamental principle of do what thou wilt, be the whole of the law, is absolutely parallel with satanic ideas.
it could be, but it could also be parallel with ideas that are not so black.
Such as?
Well, surely do what thou wilt could also apply equally on the white side of occultism.
How can it? Because surely the white side of occultism is very strict, abstemious, rigid, and self-disciplined, where one rigidly adheres to the rules, which allow for very little deviation. Certainly not any anarchy, such as was experienced amongst Crowley's followers.
Well, one could equally say that the white side of Christianity.
Why is there a black side to Christianity?
Yes, of course, there's the satanic side, but I mean.
There's a black side to Christianity. So there are Christian Satanists.
Or someone that, yes, of course. So someone that.
But surely they wouldn't be Christians. Surely they would simply be Satanists.
Well, you in fact use the word Christian Satanist, but to me, anyone that reverses the doctrine of the Christian faith that is the definition of a Satanist.
Yes, but they'd have nothing to do with Christianity.
Only insofar as that they're still using Christianity, albeit in a reverse form.
Do you do anything like this? Have you ever? Was there ever a time that you inverted Christian ritual?
One of the troubles here is, you see, that magic or Christianity, rather Satanism, as indeed Christianity goes, are misunderstood. So I couldn't answer you without
incriminating yourself.
No, without complying to your word of the definition of a Satanist, which I wouldn't agree with.